God damn you, Biff Tannen. Bullying me in junior high school? I'll show you.
Sean, what are you doing?
Uh, uh, Nothing. Let's get to the review.
This is where the story really starts.
So, you've just finished watching Zach Cregger's Weapons, and your head is spinning. What was real? What was a metaphor? And what was the deal with Aunt Gladys? Today, we're diving deep into the shocking ending of Weapons, breaking down what actually happened, and exploring the theories that explain what it all really means. And it goes without saying, massive spoilers ahead.
Okay, let's start with the literal on-screen ending. What we learn is that Aunt Gladys is not a relative at all. She is an ancient, possibly centuries-old parasitic entity. The film drops clues to her real age, like when she mentions Alex's parents are sick with consumption, a term for tuberculosis used widely in the 17th and 18th centuries. Her power seems to come from the mysterious black-leafed plant. She uses one of its branches along with her blood and personal items and controls the parents, keeping them in a docile, zombie-like state while she prepares to do something with the children. The film leaves her ultimate goal ambiguous, but it's clear she's harvesting children for some dark purpose. The key to her defeat comes when we realize the power isn't in Gladys herself, but in the plant. When young Alex manages to perform a spell of his own using a piece of the branch, he proves the magic is transferable. This is what allows the children to ultimately fight back and destroy her in the film's wild, campy climax. But what if that's not what happened at all?
This brings us to theory number one, the school shooting allegory. Director Zach Cregger has explicitly stated this film is not about a school shooting, but the imagery is so powerful it's impossible to ignore. The entire plot revolves around a group of missing children, a town holding a dark secret, and a community steeped in shame. This echoes the setup of A Nightmare on Elm Street, another film that used supernatural horror to explore the trauma inflicted upon children. The most potent piece of evidence is the shot of an AR-15 on the top of the community center. This combined with the biblical quote from Matthew 2:17, "A voice is heard in Ramah, weeping and loud lamentation. Rachel weeping for her children, she refused to be comforted because they were no more," paints a chilling picture. In this reading, the supernatural events are a desperate fantasy, a story concocted to process the unspeakable, the real-world horror of a school shooting perpetrated by Alex.
But if it's not a school shooting, what is it? This leads us to theory number two, the director's real meaning, grief. In interviews, Zach Cregger has been very open that Weapons is his way of processing the profound grief of losing a close friend and collaborator. He's said that the characters in the film represent different stages and facets of his own grieving process. In this light, Gladys isn't just a monster, she is the embodiment of grief itself, a parasitic entity that invades a home, consumes the parents or the adults, and leaves the children, the future, to fend for themselves. The film's wild tonal shift from serious horror to absurd B-movie chaos could represent the unpredictable, almost hysterical nature of navigating a deep personal loss. The ending, where the children manage to fight back, isn't just a victory over a monster, but a symbolic act of finding a way to live with and overcome soul-crushing grief. So which is it? The beauty of Weapons is that it's all of them. It is a supernatural thriller on the surface, a heartbreaking allegory for grief at its core, and a story that uses the language of real-world violence to make its horror feel terrifyingly immediate.
So we're a little bit late to the party with this review, or this ending explained, because we never intended to review this movie at all. It was just because it got so much buzz, and then I watched it and I loved it. I was like, we got to do something on this movie. So I had the benefit of seeing a lot of theories after the fact because there's a lot of coverage for this movie. I decided to just go with two. I decided to go with my theory of the school shooting after I saw the movie. That's how I interpreted it. And then after I did research, I decided to go with the director's theory. But there's a lot of great theories out there. Alcoholism is one theory, it's a symbolism for that. And then also, there's a biblical one that I thought was pretty good as well. But a lot of different theories out there. I decided to go with these two. But let us know your thoughts in the comment. Like, what theories do you guys have? What are your thoughts, Angus?
Yeah, well, one thing I really loved about it was the fractured storyline, the way they tell the story, and it kind of reminded me of Magnolia, and I think he acknowledges that as a major influence. And like that movie, I think each of the characters in this movie is kind of in distress. They all have problems. They're all flawed human beings. And like you said, alcoholism, but I would go further and say addictions. I think it's not just alcoholism, but there's also drugs. There's other unhealthy behaviors. I think they've all got problems, and they're not all good. They're not all bad. They're complicated, like real human beings. So I think it gives the movie a lot of depth and nuance, and I think the actors really all inhabit their roles perfectly.
All right. Those are our thoughts. Share yours in the comments below. Now, where the hell was that twig?